Hey everyone, welcome back to Mitchell Marcus. Today we have an interesting video. We're going to be going over INTC, Intel Corp, and this video is going to be about opening and securing yourself in a position as well as finding yourself a position. Intel is a perfect example because it's a bit out of the ordinary how I was able to establish confidence in this position and be willing to open a leveraged position with Intel and what my thesis was going on behind the scenes. I know I had mentioned Intel in a prior video, but I didn't go in depth, and my position is almost fully closed besides a few shares, so I thought it'd be a perfect time to go over. And I do have the screenshot here, the screen grab that I'll bring on over to actually show I was truly into this position. And this is not my shares. I was buying shares before I had the confidence to go in for a leveraged call position. These contracts above were Intel 19 call for December 19, very good positions, and then below I had a 18 call for December 19 as well. All of these positions are closed now. I am not still in Intel. I played my hand and I got out. So Intel was left for dead, but in the last 2 months it's ripped higher. Here's exactly what's changed from government backing to Nvidia's surprise investment to the technical breakouts on the chart. So if you look at the chart, Intel was just getting beaten and beaten, and the stock was looking like it was in a terrible position, but we were able to still mark out a resistance and a support zone, which is very helpful in how this whole thing plays out. This isn't a typical trend or typical research. This is really a political and economic montage of things happening all at one time that I was having to follow for this position. So now that we have the resistance and the support laid out, as well as the 50 and 200 EMA and volume at the bottom, we are able to at least see what is playing out and not just the noise happening. So starting first, July and August, there is a lot of political fire from the Trump administration talking about Intel. And as soon as the government is talking about a certain stock, it can really make or break it. And there were some key things that we're saying. First, the government starts talking about Intel around July and early August. There is some CEO drama that has since been resolved, but as soon as the government started talking about Intel, it had piqued my interest either for a make or break position here. One way or another, it was going somewhere, but I had to follow along and try to predict the direction we were going to be moving. There is increasing volume here. We had just broken below the 250, and it was not looking good for Intel. There started to become some whispers about the US getting a stake in Intel, and that is when I was first looking into this position long. And then late August, the US did end up taking a 10% equity stake in Intel, buying 433 million shares at around the $20 mark. And this wasn't just subsidies, this was direct ownership. And as you had just seen by my position, I had already begun buying in right when we were hitting around this 200 EMA for a crossover. I was doing some technical analysis on the 1 week and 3 month chart as well, and I had found a key entry point in the golden zone on this increased volume and 50 EMA getting ready to cross over. So I had just gotten in perfect timing right before the US stake on August 15 here. August 14, you see a jump up. US stake actually comes to life, and we are holding strong right below resistance. At this moment, I had also bought in some more shares, and as you had seen by my call positions, I had a 19 and a 18 call. 19 and 18, guys, that is way down here, Okay, that is way down here. The premium and intrinsic value on the calls were higher because of the increased volume and options trading. There was an NVIDIA partnership on September 18, and that was a $5 billion investment in Intel on collaboration in data chips. It was a huge vote of confidence, and this is exactly what Intel needed to break this resistance level. And sometimes all it takes is a broken resistance or a broken trend to launch the stock and have tons of increased volume, volatility, and investment. It completely flipped the sentiment from Intel dying to Intel being revived. Reports also swirled around TSMC, and denials hit, so it caused a lot of volatility. Still don't know about that, but like I said, I'm fully out of my position now, so it doesn't really matter. And then back to the technical breakout, Intel broke above its 200 moving average on big volume, which was a clear trend shift. And we've seen a golden cross, 50, 200, and RSI screaming momentum. And support started happening near the 30s, and then we were able to reclaim a support zone near 30. So instead of having a resistance zone that we could not get through on 26, we had a support around the $30 mark instead of our support way down here around 1930, 19 to 1930. So Intel isn't magically fixed, but rhetoric and capital investment, as well as just a turnaround in the general market sentiment for Intel, made for a 10 out of 10 play that I had this month of September that I was extremely excited about sharing and going through all of the different concepts and research that can go into finding a good position in the stock market, from a deadbeat stock to one of the biggest gainers in September, all situated around rhetoric, planning, leveraging, calculated research, technical analysis of the chart, looking for crosses, golden zone entry, making sure support is being held, and having enough volume to try and break through resistance levels. This just goes to show there are so many different ways of trying to plan and execute on a position, and hopefully this helps you and opens your mind on what you can find valuable in the market and what you can examine to produce consistent results in the ever-changing space of the market. Thank you guys for watching. It was just a quick video on Intel, not an insanely deep dive, but wanted to cover the most important topics for this trade I had made in September. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time at Mitchell Markets.